All right, guys, we are live, episode 114 of the Shooter's Mindset. Thank you guys for joining us here. We've got the president and the guest of the hour, the owner of Barnes Precision Machine, Andrew Barnes, is in the house. What's going on, Andrew?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. We had a pretty good conversation. You were really schooling me on some AR parts and stuff like that earlier today, so we're definitely going to continue that conversation here live. Co-host today is Jennifer Seymour. What's going on, Jennifer?
Hello. Another day in paradise.
Right on. All right, we're gonna definitely for those who are new to the show or just want to participate in the conversation, the Q&A section in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen is a good way to get your live questions in to Andrew or to any of us here on the panel for tonight's show. Also, you can head over to Shooter's Mindset Facebook page. I think there's a post going up probably within a couple seconds where you can use Facebook to ask your questions to the show here live, and we'll take those. It's going to be a great show as far as AR rifle manufacturing go, and competitive shooting. We're all competitors, so is Andrew. So we definitely, if you have any training things you want to throw in there that you want to know, get our opinions on, we'll be happy to help you out there. Show sponsors, Tactical Shit, shop.tacticalshit.com. It's the holidays. You want to get the husband something, the boyfriend something. We all like gun stuff, right? And it's probably the best gift you can give, in a sense. So shop.tacticalshit.com. I was thinking, like, man, why am I keep cursing? So I stuttered. I'm thinking about it. Oh, yeah, that's the website. Shop.tacticalshit.com. All right, check them out. Techwear USA jerseys. You guys need to add all those logos on the jerseys. Get your sponsorships in, or you just want to look good on the range. Techwear USA is a good way to do that. So go check them out. I'm pretty sure they're starting to get slammed right now. Usually SHOT Show's that time where that comes upon them where they get slammed, but check them out and get your order in. Also, Blade Tech Industries and Brett Russo over there are big-time fans of the show, and we're a big fan of their products, so definitely check out Blade Tech Industries when you're shopping. All right, they do a lot of support. They give a lot of support to competitive shooters and the sport. We talked about the Q&A. The Shooter's Mindset app is available in the Apple Store and the Google Store, the Google Play Store. So for Apple and Android devices, you can download this. You'll see Andrew's face or the Barnes Precision logo on that app as soon as we shut down the live broadcast. It'll be on the app for you to tune in wherever you can. All right. TSM shirts, for those of you guys who order some T-shirts, they are being packaged and shipped out. So there's I shipped some today, and they'll be shipping in the next few days. So if you ordered one, thank you. They're coming very soon. And we still have a few left. So if you're interested in some T-shirts, let me know. Send me a PM, and we'll get them out to you. All right. All right. So Andrew, for those who are unfamiliar with you and your company, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
I started Barnes Precision Machine in 1992. We were a small job shop, manual machines, and we did a lot of research, prototype, R&D work for customers in the Research Triangle Park area around Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill. After a couple of years of success with getting known as a smaller shop that did prototype work, I started down that road of investing in CNC, computer numerical control equipment. I landed a customer known as Carolina Archery Products and the Whisker Biscuit Air Arrest, a very, very successful archery product that literally went to the moon with customers like Cabela's, Walmart, Bass Pro Shops. It was a very high volume part, and it sent us on a growth spurt, as they say, that was pretty phenomenal for a small company. A couple of years down the road, we decided to expand our line of work, having grown from 3 CNC machines to 28 CNC machines, from 3 or 4 employees to 28 employees. We then invested in some more machinery and started machining AR-15 parts. I had a handguard design that many in the industry still follow to this day, with the barrel nut design specifically. Anyone that's building a rifle with a long free float handguard design has to have a large, purchase on the barrel nut for rigidity. So that's a very, very popular design that's been incorporated to many people's handguard design today. And that input was originally from some SF and other unit community at Fort Bragg, and we're very, very proud of that association with them. So we've been an OEM parts manufacturer for many rifle companies, up to 15 different AR companies who use our components and parts in their weapons that they build. And we've been very, very lucky to have the vetting part and the T&E done by National Tactical Officers Association, NSA, National Sheriff's Association, and multiple SF units within Marine Corps, MARSOC, and U.S. Army Special Operations. Very, very fortunate in that respect, with a lot of respect to those communities. But I guess, big hit as a parts manufacturer came when some of that same community recommended that we build complete rifles based on all the parts we machine for the industry. With my own handguard design, input from our really talented, qualified employees, we put together the first real 3-gun match carbine rifle in the $1,400–1,500 range that was all of a sudden competing and beating $2,800 rifles of various, name brands out there. So it got there was a realization that a company that manufactured their own parts could have a decent margin in the weapon, exceptional quality without any shortcuts, and get known for price point versus quality instead of a high price and a questionable or just another name brand quality. So the rifle, manufacturing, which stemmed from the parts manufacturing, led us down the road to some pretty reputable shooters. Lena Michalik won 3 women's Pro Series championships with our handguard and complete upper receiver assembly barrel bolt carry group on her Smith & Wesson sponsored lower. It's a well-known fact. There's a lot of national level shooters out there that could, quite frankly, shoot any rifle they want, and they either choose to be sponsored by us or they choose to purchase our gear for their competition. And that is also true with some military and SF. There are a certain level that choose to buy their own work guns, or at least for training, if not deployment, utilize those guns in 3-gun and their job or their training. We're very, very proud of that fact. So getting our start as an OEM parts manufacturer and earning our stripes, as they say, as a rifle manufacturer, we're now known, instead of just another North Carolina precision machine shop, job shop, we are a reputable rifle manufacturer in the industry.
And you really got started with your handguard, right? You want to talk a little bit about your handguard? I know it's evolved since you obviously first designed it, but I'm fortunate enough to have one of these are the ultralight Barnes handguards here. This is a 14-inch one, and like you said, the barrel. This is really unique as far as the barrel nut design and a lot of other things. So what can we talk about this new one compared to the one that you first started off with?
Originally, we had, the extrusion die done for a quad rail style handguard that was popular within tactical military use at the time. We're going back to 2008 here. So we shot some early combat matches at Range 37 on Fort Bragg, where the SOTIC Sephardic courses are taught, and we got instant feedback from some of the SF unit commanders there, and the whole premise behind the rigidity of our handguard is, to be honest, laser targeting and those types of systems that are used on a basic M4 rifle. If the handguard is so loose that you cannot co-witness your laser targeting device, often called a PEC device, to your optic or your EOTech or aim point, then if you lose your nods or your night vision, you cannot see the infrared beam of that laser targeting device. If you cannot see that beam, you cannot apply that laser targeting device on target and continue with your mission. However, if you have such a rigid handguard that you can co-witness as a redundancy or backup your optics to your laser targeting device, now when your batteries go dead or your nods go bad, you lose them, they're damaged, instead of you not being able to continue your mission, You can lasso aircraft with the beam. Under communication from direction, you can then drop onto target, put your red dot or your crosshair on target, and know that you're lasing the target. A continuation of mission through a redundancy or rigidity of the system. Aircraft has redundancy for flight controls. Artillery and other systems have redundancy for their aiming systems. Why not the basic carbine that our soldiers use? So I don't know if I'm making sense with this description, but upon this description, unit commanders within those communities said, wow, if we could push a button, every soldier under our command would have that type of handguard because it's some of our best work.
Right on.
Then the ultralight design and the streamlined grip, the sling swivel insert location, to be honest, came from an SF medic. When you're slinging up in a battle, rifle, you're slinging at midpoint, gripping the weapon at the end. If you have to aid a soldier and drop to a knee and you want to reposition your sling, you move your sling to the end of the handguard, wrap up, sling up, and your muzzle is at the small of your back instead of being dragged across your calf or poking your patient in the face as you're rotating around on a knee on the battlefield. So as much input as we've had on the style of the handguard and the ergonomics of it, we have to give props where it's due to things like the sling swivel insert that came from a medic in an SF unit.
Right on. These are the points that he's talking about. There's 4 sling points. There's one on each side here, and there's one on each side on the front here, if you can see that. And there's also a bipod attachment that I took off, but it does ship with a bipod attachment. So you're getting all in one. I know a lot of you guys will, a lot of people following the trend of the KeyMod M-Lock deal. Well, that's not KeyMod. That's not M-Lock. Andrew, what do you say to that? Or is there plans to come out with that design? I mean,
yes.
I don't know. I don't know. Like I tell Jen all the time, I really don't attach a lot of stuff. I guess maybe if I shot a night match or something, maybe I'd prefer one or the other. But what is your feelings towards KeyMod M-Lock?
Here's our premise and our opinion on that. We started with this design where you take the Magpul rail sections and you can bolt them on when and where you want. Picatinny rail sections have always been dependable and rigid. However, the airsoft industry, I think it's other opinion as well, that some of the KeyMod accessories were kind of rushed. If you drop your weapon in a tactical situation and go into a room and transition to your pistol and your weapon is hanging and you brush by a door jamb, for example, with a KeyMod type application, you can rip that device right off the handguard. If you have a Picatinny rail section attached to the handguard, there is no way you're going to physically rip that device through the cross bolt mounting slots on a Picatinny spec rail and off the weapon. So from a reliability standpoint, I do think some of the attachments were rushed. The M-Lock, I think, is far better. We are a Magpul OEM distributor dealer. We do use the Magpul line of product on our factory rifles, and so we are releasing an M-Lock feature handguard at the SHOT Show this year. It's being machined in our plant as we speak.
There you go. So we got a little sneak peek.
We'll still offer the drill and tap pattern as we do that fits the Magpul 5 and 9 slot rails that we include with the handguard or the rifle. Hopefully you received some with your handguard.
Yeah, I definitely did get some.
Awesome.
Jen, thoughts on KeyMod M-Lock and what John was just referencing as far as how they hold up?
I mean, I could see what he was saying. It could definitely get dislodged. I'm like you. I don't put a lot on my rifle. I have a scope on top. I just don't. I've always said, all of my friends are veterans and we're all in combat and everything, and they sort of sometimes laugh at my 3-gun stuff and gaming, and I tell them straight up all the time, I'm not trying to be combat. I never was. But they put a lot of stuff on their, I should ask them one day what their preference is, because they do attach a lot of stuff on their rifles. I just don't, because to me it gets in the way and it just gets heavy.
Yeah, right on, yeah.
It's very popular for guys, especially, and gals that I've known, to be honest, who are professional military. They utilize 3-gun as an awesome extension of their training.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times they're running their guns like they're work guns. Yeah, there are some of them that have a bad gamed up competition rifle, but there are a lot of them that could take that work gun and use it as a match. And, so I do think that there's some value to being able to run what you brung, as they say, and go into certain matches with a tack light or a bipod attachment, DMR matches, precision rifle matches. I think there's a place for all that. And then, of course, the flexibility of the weapon is, what gives you the ability to do all of it.
Yeah, right on. Definitely want to remind you guys who are just joining us, the Q&A section. I know, man, I can see a lot of questions coming out just from this 15-minute conversation we had here. Make sure to utilize the Q&A section in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, or head over to Shooters Mindset on Facebook, and it'll be the top post, our most recent post, where you can put your comments and questions below in that post, all right? But moving on here, and I know you hit this a little bit already, but there's everywhere you look, there's a rifle company or some new designs coming out, or they're just everywhere. You know what I mean? It's almost like SA rifle companies are almost like a dime a dozen nowadays. So what makes Barnes Precision different and stand out over the rest?
Well, if I can comment to your first, remark about a dime a dozen, in the times that we've seen in the last decade with the bubble bursting from overproduction of AR-15 components because of various socio-political rhetoric that's driven the manufacturing to try to meet demand. When demand peters out, as they say, companies are left with all that stock and inventory. Many times when it's not marked, when it's not engraved, which they intentionally do, they can then release that material, components, parts to other companies that can market as their own, build rifles, as has been traditionally done based on Eugene Stoner's original design, machine parts in Seattle, machine parts in Florida, bring them together in Chicago like car parts, and they all fit together. So guess what? That's what the country does with the AR-15 platform. Now, are there some things that we have in our rifle that we consider, our slogan, innovative refinements to the tactical carbine? Yes, we do. We used a forged 7075 lower, but we're the only forged lower manufacturer that we know of that has two specific features that separate us. We drill and tap a hole and add a feature called a tension screw to the lower receiver. That allows you to take any industry upper receiver. As Eugene Stoner designed the system, there is a tolerance zone for the upper and there is a tolerance zone for the lower, which means you may get a tight fit and you may get a loose fit, but neither one has any bearing on accuracy or function. Just like the reinforcement ribs in an upper and a lower don't always align, they weren't meant to. There is no function protocol that requires them to. Yet the forging prints are wide open, plus or minus 20 thousandths for the upper and the lower. So there are varying things that people don't realize when they see the fit and finish of an AR that they go to judge, and it has no bearing on the manufacturing quality whatsoever. It's the nature of the AR forging, net shape forging design, and machining a net shape forging in production settings. So along with the tension screw, for you to be able to control the fit between your upper and lower, we also drill and tap the detent pin location for the rear takedown pin. If you've ever done a stock change and the spring and the detent flew out,
right,
and you had to buy those parts, you'll appreciate that they're retained by a little set screw because we tap that hole when we drill it. We're there anyway, and we provide those two features, a retained detent and spring for the rear takedown pin and a tension screw feature to control fit between the upper and lower.
Yeah, that's kind of comforting because the two rifles that I have and I've assembled or bought one, assembled one, they were both two different two different brands, upper and lower receivers, and they were always kind of a tight fit, you know what I mean? And then I got this one right here, which is like I feel all this like wobble and shaking. I'm like, man, that can't be right. I wonder if well, I don't like that. I know it would be accurate. I never, put that one out there. I know it's going to function, but I just this looseness right here is like throwing me off. I don't like it just personally, but I mean, it's not
on the fit. Okay, on an accuracy rifle like a DMR, a designated marksman rifle, the tension between the upper and the lower is somewhat more important. You have a high magnification scope, and you're controlling the tracking of the reticle with the pistol grip. Well, you want a good marriage or fit between the lower and the upper so that when you manipulate the pistol grip, you manipulate the upper and the optics and your crosshair position.
right.
For a UV weapon where I'm shooting a guy or a target at 25 meters, a little wobble between the upper and the lower has no bearing on accuracy. I'm using an EOTech anyway and a center of mass shot. All military tactical weapons have that slop from being disassembled and assembled a billion times for maintenance. So again, having a tight-fitting weapon for all ARs isn't required, in our opinion, or necessary. In the DMR precision application with a high magnification scope, that's where we see it warranted. Obviously, AccuWedge has been around for decades. It's a piece of rubber, and if you split it in two in your work gun and it's a tactical situation and it falls into your fire control group, which has been known to happen, now your weapon doesn't work.
Yep.
So one type of device for a tactical weapon is unacceptable that for a gamer or competition weapon may be acceptable. Our design cannot come out if the weapon is closed.
Right on, yeah. I definitely knew, with the AccuWedge, I've heard so many horror stories on that, and that's more just like
say a name, but it's been around so long, everybody knows what it is.
Yeah, it's just a cheap, pretty much guys that are sick like me. Even though if you didn't know any better about that stuff, you would probably say, oh man, I don't like this. Let me just go spend a dollar or two on, I don't know how much they cost, and get one and slide it in there, and boom, now you no longer have to, now it's solid. Now it feels good. But people don't think about the trade-off, and that's something that we were talking about when low mass to full mass carriers earlier, which I really enjoy that conversation. But there's always a trade-off to certain things, and I think people really jump on the bandwagon early and don't realize the reliability down the line or in a big major match that can really hurt them in a sense.
As we talk, I think the two biggest things that we've seen, admittedly in three-gun matches that would cause a rifle to go down was improperly resized brass, not allowing the bolt carrier to go into battery. That can be exacerbated, as discussed, with a low mass carrier. Also, what can happen with a low mass carrier is the full spring tension and upward exertion of the magazine stack is pressured against the bottom of the carrier, creating drag. If the energy rearward, in the theory of for every action there's an equal opposite reaction, the bolt carrier does not have the mass or energy on the return to strip that round off of the top of the cartridge stack when all that upward pressure against the bottom of the carrier, it's unsprung one moment and then loaded back up the next moment when it returns to battery. So that's a reliability issue that you could never deal with in a combat or a duty weapon. People will try it in a gamer gun. If your gun's clean, uber maintained, you might get away with it. But what's it worth in muzzle flip, split, an increase in time or decrease in time in your splits? Like you said, there's a trade-off, and I just don't necessarily agree it's worth it.
Right on. So there you go, Jen. You're not right. What are your thoughts on low mass carriers right now?
I have a low mass carrier. I've never had any problem with it. I have JP, and it has run beautifully. I mean, I don't think I've ever had a jam in my rifle. So that's good. But I also never thought about what he said. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, we take these magazines that are, stacked to capacity because we want to be able to run a stage and not have to reload. I hate reloading my AR. I'd rather just run it. And so, we take these 40-round mags and, fill them to the hilt and cram them in there. It makes a lot of sense, the amount of pressure that's going up on that bolt.
Yeah, and it's just a brass sizing issue. So I mean, a lot of people would either well, I mean, even from factory ammunition, man. I mean, I've seen tons of factory ammunition just horrible out of the box. I mean, it's not often, but you get it. And you know, I mean, one jam in a rifle or in a shotgun or a pistol in a national level match or whatever, a state match, it doesn't matter what it is. Even a local match, people take the win and loss serious. That's a big deal, and the one jam can ruin your whole day. So I mean, and it's something you really can't control unless you're cycling around all the rounds that you're firing through your rifle and doing, you know, you're being super cautious and you're taking every variable out of it. Then I guess you can do it that way.
And as discussed, you know, not to drop names, but we know a national level, world-renowned shooter, he does exactly that, as he describes. Before a match, he cycles every round that he plans to fire through the weapon, you know, through the magazine and the weapon, to make sure he doesn't have a neck resizing issue that would keep his gun going into battery. You know, so I definitely think there's a lot of merit there.
There you go. So there's kind of the pros and cons and kind of the trade-offs between the low mass and the full carrier system. I'm just getting into the low mass. I know I'm usually always slow to jump on those bandwagons and get all the new fancy gear that people are talking about and spend a dime. So I'm usually the guy that waits a little bit and then finally gets one and then see what it's all about after running it. Q&A stuff. I should have opened it, but yeah, there it is. Joshua Doss is in here. Man, this looks like a great episode. We appreciate it so far. It's it's 28 minutes in. I use a Windic. Okay, so we're getting into some ammo, PDX-1 ammo. We don't want to really open up the can of which ammo is the best because that's going to be never-ending. But Winchester PDX-1 is the ammo of his choice. I'm assuming in your carry gun. I've shot that stuff. I have no problems with it. What accessory/junk do you recommend for a home defense AR, and what should we avoid? So Andrew, what should we get for a home defense rifle, and what should we avoid?
Well, I'm going to throw
probably a low mass carrier. No.
I'm going to say definitely so. For any duty weapon, there are things you don't want for a duty weapon or a home protection or self-defense weapon. Number one is a muzzle brake or compensator. It's a flamethrower. Do you really want to light up the hall and give away your position? I mean, really. A flash hider on a tactical weapon. No adjustable gas systems, because you're probably going to have the tendency to pinch it off so it's low recoil, and then your gun gets a little dirty, or you have some underpowered ammo, and at the wrong instance, your gun doesn't cycle. So wide open gas systems, over-gas the gun for reliability. The other thing is obviously what type of sight. You know, optic instead of a high magnification. Throw a EOTech aim point or some type of holographic red dot. I do think from a caliber standpoint, there's some value in the 300 blackout over the standard 5.56 223. We've all heard stories of soldiers complaining how many times they shot an enemy combatant just to get the effect of the round, versus a 30 caliber, you know, on a enemy combatant that does a job. And it's no different in hunting. So home defense, I would think there would definitely be some value in the shorter pistol 300 blackout ARs or the pistol 5.56 ARs with the SIG arm brace that have become extremely popular because of handiness, ability to store them, and firepower, 30 rounds.
Yeah, right on. He also referenced he has a 16-inch gun with no optics. He prefers irons, and of course he runs a light. So he runs a light in his AR, which that's, if I'm gonna attach anything, it'll be a light. Like I said, if I'm running a night match, or if I did have, I would assume a home defense rifle makes sense to run a light on. But I mean, there you go. That's his take on his rifle setup. So we appreciate the questions, man. As usual, Joshua Dawson in the house. All right, let's see. We talked a little bit about this, but we're going to switch gears, actually, and let's switch up the conversation and move on here. What is your opinion on what truly makes a rifle barrel the most accurate? There's some companies out there that have an MOA guarantee, yada yada. There's some people believe in 1-7s, 1-8s. What's your take on it, Andrew?
Well, originally the 1-9 twist that was in the AR design, or I'm sorry, it was 1-10 that went to 1-9 for military usage, and then straight to 1-7 for longer projectiles so that you could get a proper twist. It seems that the popular gamut in the 223, 5.56 AR designs over the last couple of decades have been anything from a 40 to 45 grain varmint bullet up to an 80 grain VLD, very low drag, match type bullet. 75, 77 grain bullets have been super popular in military usage, along with 70 grain bullets. So they're going longer and longer with the projectile for flight characteristics, trajectory, and because of that, we do think that those ballistics in those calibers, in a 223 have been improved somewhat, but there's not a whole lot you can do to get any more energy out of an AR, especially with the shorter barrels.
All right, on your barrels, I'm over here. Where was that? There was something you referenced a little bit earlier. Montana Rifleman stainless steel barrel blanks.
Yeah.
What does that mean to the consumer looking at this?
And I apologize for not finishing that. MOA guarantee out of rifles relative to military expectations has been a huge, decrease for civilian commercial grade rifles, and a part of that has been the 223 Wild chamber, a 5.56 NATO chamber, and the throat length or the jump of the bullet as compared with a 223 Wild chamber is vastly improved. You get better inherent accuracy out of the 223 Wild chamber that Armalite and Rock River have used for years, and it will function with 5.56 NATO or 223 ammunition with no pressure issues but increased accuracy, while 5.56 chambers can have, obviously no issue with 223 Remington, but 223 Remington chambers can have issue with 5.56. That is the well-known and discussed pressure issue amongst barrel chambers. 1-7 twists the bullet faster, 1-9 not so much, so 1-8 is now the happy medium for competition and commercial rifle barrels so that you can shoot successfully a 45 grain light bullet all the way up to a 77, 80 grain bullet that has become extremely popular in match. The quality of the rifle barrel blank. 416 stainless rifle barrel blanks are considered premium match quality barrel blanks from a number of suppliers around the country. We buy the Montana Rifle Barrel Company blank, gun drilled, rifled, heat treated, stress relieved, and then polished on the bore and hand lapped, and then we machine the contour and we do the ultimate accuracy, control of a barrel. That is reaming the chamber. If you're not reaming the chamber concentric to the bore, all bets are off. You can take a high quality rifle barrel blank and do a poor chamber reaming job and it's not going to shoot. You can take a mediocre quality rifle barrel blank and do a really good concentric precision chamber reaming job, and man, you can get that thing to be a shooter. That's just, the short of it. So the quality of the barrel blank does dictate somewhat the accuracy potential. But more than anything, it's the precision nature or application of cutting that chamber to that bore so that you're starting the projectile as straight as possible in the throat and lead in of the chamber.
Right on. You guys can check all this stuff out. This is all, what we're talking about is all on the website, and they have a lot of details. They don't hide these details. It's all there below the barrel when you purchase it, or when you're looking at it. The website here is I got USA-made-AR15parts.com. Is that correct?
That, BarnesPrecision.com, either one of those links will get you to the website.
We'll take you to the website. All right. See, as far as bow carrier groups, barrels, we talked about handguards already. All this stuff's available. If you guys are in the middle of building a rifle, want some quality parts. You're hearing it from the man himself. You can't get a better description than this right here. So if you were deciding, shop wisely, man. I think there's a lot of good parts out there, but check out Barnes. All right. Chen, what do you got? You got anything on the live feed or anything you want to add in here? After you unmute the mic.
I was about to say, yeah.
Right.
It dinged at me. Unmute mic, idiot.
Right.
No, everybody seems to be asleep and not on Facebook. They're Christmas shopping or something. Where's Joshua Doss and Tony Paul when we need them for questions?
No, we got Joshua Doss already put in like 6. I think he's working on some time there. I think he's working or something, but he got a chance to put in his questions.
If I can,
in the Q&A.
To throw in another, from a maintenance standpoint, especially for the match shooters out there that run, competition rifles, oftentimes one of the most overlooked components of the rifle is the gas tube. It's a really simple part. Nobody gives it much attention. It's not fancy. It's not exciting, but the gas tube wear can have a direct result impact on performance function of the weapon. The gas tube is like 300 series stainless, which is very soft.
The cat wants to be on the shooter's mindset.
So yeah, the gas tube, if that wears down and you got blow by or leakage, you're going to short stroke your weapon. You're going to have function issues where you're definitely going to not have a good look at a match. But so keeping a spare gas tube, keeping maintenance or monitoring the diameter of the gas tube is a sure way to keep your gun running. We do offer gas tubes that are nitromet coated with a black tough coating similar to salt bath nitride, and it increases the life, reduces the wear of that gas tube, so your weapon can see a lot longer round count between gas tube changes.
Well, there you go, man. I mean, I'm learning a lot this show. I didn't know. I mean, a coating. I mean, on a gas tube, you know what I mean? A coating on that's definitely going to push it the extra mile. I mean, just stuff that I wouldn't even think was really necessary. So there you go. I mean, there's a lot of great information being shared on this show. We appreciate it. Let's see. What do you think? Here we go. What do you think is the most underrated AR rifle upgrade nowadays?
Underrated, man. I'd say the blueprint, like race motors, for example. Oh, what's your blueprint for your race engine? It's Secret Squirrel. Okay, well, if you wanted to take a bone stock AR and make it a race rifle, really, there's 3 things: basic, compensator, trigger, adjustable gases, or buffer system. And you can take a common AR of questionable quality and turn it. And I'm assuming this thing already has a free float handguard. Duh. If not, well, free float handguard as well. You can take a plastic handguard weapon, do some things to it, and improve, the MOA, just like people have taken bolt action rifles for decades and free floated the barrels and shrunk group size in those. Free floating a barrel on an AR is a sure, easy way to increase accuracy. But performance-wise, to get it to shoot faster and flatter, you've got to have the compensator, the adjustable gas system, and/or the buffer.
There you go. I mean, you see tons of ARs nowadays, entry-level ARs going for, I don't know, like $500, $600 ish. I mean, so taking a rifle that someone picked up in that configuration, probably most likely going to have plastic handguards at that price range. You would recommend solid compensator, adjustable gas.
I didn't want to drop names. If I start dropping names, it's going to be Barnes.
Yeah.
That's right, okay. Yeah. You're allowed to drop your own name.
Yeah.
Maybe AR Gold. If those components, again, everybody in 3-gun knows those names. You can take an otherwise bone stock rifle as a beginning competitor, do a few things to it, and more than likely have, a competitive, rifle to go start shooting 3-gun without breaking the bank.
There you go. Very well said. Let's lighten the mood a little bit here. We're going to go into the lightning round here. Andrew, this is a little segment of the show where it's just one or the other, kind of silly questions. Some serious, some silly.
Do I need the cat?
You can bring the cat if you want. Cats are such, I don't know, man. My brother has a. Let's not get into the pet conversation. I don't know why people own cats. Honestly, not a fan.
I'm at somebody else's house. I don't have cats.
Yeah. Oh man, it's weird animals. All right. So quick yes or no answers to these. Coffee or energy drink? Which one are you drinking to get you going in the morning?
Coffee followed by an energy drink.
Yeah, that's the best answer. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, the answer is just yes.
Yeah, pretty much. In that combination, that's where I'm at. EOTech or Aimpoint? If you can run one forever, what's going to be?
Oh man, we all have heard the story, right? You know what's going on with one of those names.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm going to say Aimpoint.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that seems to be everybody's answer now. After that. Yeah. Pepsi or Coke?
Oh, man, I don't do soft drinks, but Pepsi, because I'm from North Carolina.
All right, Pepsi, fair enough. I drink both. I really don't care. I prefer Coke, but it's not a deal breaker if you only had Pepsi. All right. Let's see. 9 or 45, the all-around caliber. If you can only carry one, shoot one for the rest of your life. What are you going with?
9, because I can make it fall off the back of a truck, or some NATO force is going to shoot it. Not everybody's got 45.
That makes sense. Good way to choose that. Direct impingement or a piston ARs? What do you have? Direct impingement or piston?
Yeah, you scratched a nerve there. You got a second?
Yeah.
Okay, so our military uses some piston guns that break down on a regular basis. I'm going to go on the negatives of a piston. I'm pro gas impingement without a doubt. The negatives on a piston, from everything from suppressor usage and containment of carbon and fouling in a tiny piston cylinder area versus allowing a generous clearance area like the outside of a bolt carrier and the inside of an upper receiver, as Eugene Stoner intended. It's not the gun that throws up on itself, it's the self-cleaning rifle. So piston gun technology, and it's claiming because your carrier runs cooler, what's going on at that cylinder and piston tappet area, what temperature is it, and of course what's the accuracy. How can a weapon be accurate when you're sitting there banging on the barrel with a tappet and a piston rod? So don't even come to me with MOA expectations out of a piston gun compared to a gas impingement gun. It's just not physically possible. So there's a number of negatives on pistons that I see, and our military will never retrofit the M4 to a piston gun.
There you go for the piston lovers out there. I've owned both, but I haven't really rocked that piston gun hard. It was like a 6.8, so I sold it pretty fast because that ammo was very expensive at the time. Yeah, if I would have got it in 223 or something, it would have still been here. But 6.8, it was a dumb decision at the time, and someone suckered me into it with his advice. And he was a big 6.8 caliber buff, and he's like, 6.8's the ultimate. The ultimate stuff is the perfect in between an AK, 7.62 and a 5.56, and I bought it, and then I was like, it was like $2 a round, and I was like, I can't do it. No thanks.
Yeah, well, there's a 6.5 G, I won't say the name, and there's a 50 cal, Wolf, and
yeah, yeah,
large calibers that you have to chew the bolt face of a AR-15 platform bolt open so much to get those rebated cartridges of a 50 cal or the 6.5 G or others, or the 6.8 to fit in the AR-15 platform. You've now weakened the bolt and the webbing around the bolt, where case hardening the bolt through hardens it, makes the lugs brittle, and no one that makes those guns in those calibers you just stated can make bolts live in them. And they never see the round count to prove it because you can't afford the ammo.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. That thing was rough, and I think today it might have came down a little bit, but it was
never see the round counts of 5.56 guns, so it's not an equal. Oh, I can prove to you that this gun will live as long as this one. They won't. Eugene Stoner did not design that platform for those pressures or those calibers to undercut those bolts like that.
Right on. All right, so
with that stuff.
AR triggers. We're talking the flat or the curved. Which one do you prefer? If you can only go with one.
We use the Hyperfire trigger in our 3-gun match carbine and the Hyperfire trigger in our designated marksman rifle. For a competitor, maybe you have your own opinion there. Everybody's got their favorite thing, but I think the Hyperfire that allows you to adjust position of the trigger shoe can give you a shorter swing and arc, like a pendulum swinging, for close-up CQB stages. When again, sometimes it's acceptable to paddle the trigger. And then when you're at a long-range precision stage and you want the lightest pull, leverage helps you. So dropping the trigger shoe and making the pendulum longer, that's a longer travel slightly, but it's an easier travel from a pull standpoint. Your shots on a long-range precision stage are slow anyway, so a little bit longer reset and travel isn't going to hurt you versus the reduced trigger pull. So the Hyperfire with the adjustable trigger shoe, I can see some value, and it is a flat trigger design, by the way. Curved triggers for combat weapons with gloves, tactical situation where you're not as easily be able to identify where the finger is on the trigger, so you just feel a curve and it centers itself. Competition for one thing, or I'm sorry, straight triggers for competition, curved triggers for tactical weapons, combat weapons.
There you go. There's your take on it. Oreos or Chips Ahoy?
Oh man, I would say either as long as I got milk.
Yeah, that's a fair answer. We'll take that. I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of whatever I see in the fridge, I'll buy. But I'm a big Oreos fan. If I had to buy it, go to the supermarket, buy it myself, I'm not going to pass up Oreos for Chips Ahoy. It's just not going to happen. All right, so there we go on that. Forward assist or no forward assist?
Perfect example is our new 308 LR and our 308 CQB. We're machining billet uppers and lowers. Our first models we came out with competition guys in mind. We had no forward assist, no dust cover. The next batch that we've just finished production on, we do have the dust cover and the brass deflector for lefties, but we still did not include the forward assist on our 308 rifles because of the mass in the bolt. There are many 308 rifle manufacturers that produce forward assists on uppers, and the bolt carrier group in the gun does not even have the serrations on the side of it to be able to use the forward assist.
Yeah.
That is fact. It's not just like one manufacturer. It's all over the place to where we laugh about it. So talking with my military guys, they all say they never use the forward assist. It's a waste of space, a waste of weight. So we did not put the forward assist in our 308 rifles. All our 223 guns, because we run industry standard forged uppers, they have forward assists in them. A lot of people don't even realize what the forward assist is for. I'm going to describe it quick. You're in a foxhole. It's dark. You get blown out of your foxhole while doing a mag change. Your bolt is locked back. You get mud, grit, debris in your weapon. You shove a magazine in it and hit the bolt release. You pull the trigger and the gun goes click because your bolt didn't go into battery. You drop the magazine, you do the sports drill, you finger the magazine well in the bolt area, try to get it clear. You shove a magazine back in, you charge the weapon again, and this time, because you know there's the potential for the carrier not to go forward, you bang on the forward assist until you hear and see the bolt carrier close. This is the point where Eugene Stoner's design takes over, and it becomes the self-cleaning rifle. If you get the gun to close, it will fire. When it fires, the gas jettisoned out of the tube will blow the carrier and the lugs clean, and the next reciprocation into battery, the lugs are more liable to lock up with the barrel extension lugs. So bam, that's the need for the forward assist and its original intent per Eugene Stoner's design.
There you go. Yeah, I don't plan on getting a bunch of mud in my rifle. That's for sure. I mean, it's possible. Yeah. I mean, Jen shot some matches in a hurricane with mud. I mean, if you dropped your rifle, what were those?
I was not going to drop my rifle in that mud. That mud was horrible.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was awful. Let's not even talk about it. I still have mud in my my scope mount, like where the screws go. There's still like mud. I can't get it out, and all along my rail has mud still in it. Where I've cleaned and cleaned and cleaned, I still have mud.
Air hose,
Hey,
compressed air.
Will that get it out if it's caked on though?
Yeah, just hit it with a Q-tip and compressed air.
there you go.
I'll have to
Clean,
try that.
clean tip of the day. All right. Let's finish this lightning round up real quick. We talked key. I had Keymod versus M-Lock. You said M-Lock earlier, so we'll skip that one. A Hex Mag or PMag? I know the Hex Mags are kind of new on the scene, so it's kind of hard for them to get this. But what are your thoughts on the Hex Mags versus PMag deal?
Well, I don't know. If I guess the powers that be and at Magpul are watching, they're liable to lop my toes off by saying this, but we're an OEM for Magpul, but Magpul offers a flip up front, a flip up rear, a PMag, a wide array of stocks, and a wide array of grips, and so their product line is continuity. If HexMag would come out with a set of flip up sights, some pistol grips, and some stock bodies, and along with that magazine, a rifle manufacturer could build their rifles using the entire Hex Mag product. Are you tracking?
Mm-hmm.
But who is a rifle manufacturer is going to use some of this furniture and accessories and some of this furniture and accessories and some of this? It's not practical.
Right.
The volume and dollars that I need to spend with Magpul a year just to maintain my OEM dictates that I focus and stay focused on that continuity of product line. And have we used Hex Mags? They work awesome. Is their follower design awesome? Absolutely. If they were to make a follower that went into GI Metal Mag, like Magpul, they'd have another accessory to sell that would turn a GI Mag from something on the follower to something really good.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I think they're getting close. I know they came out with a pistol grip now. They got the magazine, so if they can come up with some furniture and maybe some flip-ups, they'll be right there. It's not that they're not that far away.
They're watching, they're laughing and saying, "Absolutely, Andrew, we're on." I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Joke
Yeah.
with a lot of producers of plastic components that, man, if you can go there, you will control your destiny a lot better than if you don't.
Yeah, right on. All right, that'll do it for the lightning round here. We're going to throw a quick product plug from shop.tacticalshit.com. Their fast system, their fast target system, AR-500 steel portable target system. No tools required to assemble. No tools required to disassemble. All right, that's going right now for $169.99. TSM10 can save you 10% off that purchase. All right, so check out that. If you're one of those people that don't want to carry a bunch of things, want to just set up real quick, bang, 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 take it apart, drive it home. Something to look at. Discount corner, Jen. You want to kick it off? I don't know if we don't have any new ones. We'll kind of fly through these.
Samson Manufacturing, you can get 10% off at samson-mfg.com. They have great scope mounts, handguards, flip-up sights, iron sights, all kinds of things. So go check them out and you can get 10% off with TSM10.
There you go. Quick on my end. Let's see. We said a tactical ship TSM10 with them. Fort Mill Munitions. They're over in the South Carolina, North Carolina area. That's teamfmm.com. Teamfmm.com. TSM5 65% off all their handgun ammunition. That's 9, 40, 45, 380, and hopefully 38 Super here soon. I keep hearing it. I think they're about to come out with it. All right, it's going to be available there. Dewey Rods. Got to keep the rifle clean. You need a quality rod to do so. DeweyRods.com. Cruise Rod 15. Okay, so we got a special. I don't know how long it's going to go on for, but an extra 5% here. CRUZ Rod 15 saves you 15% off anything at DeweyRods.com. Okay. What do we have? UM Tacticals, UMTactical.com. TSM10 saves you 10% off anything over there. And Terran Tactical Innovations. If you want the PMag base pads, Glock base pads, MP base pads, tons of accessories over there. TSM10 saves you 10% off anything at TerranTacticalInnovations.com. All right. There we go. Flying through that. I got a couple follow-ups. Let's go lower receivers. So Barnes Precision lower receivers. I saw rebar NP3 coating. First time I saw that. What
Robar.
is this coating? Robar coating. What are we talking here with this coating?
Robar is a company in Arizona, Coating Technologies. They're also known as in the aerospace industry, military, armament industry, very, very well known. Have been around several decades, synonymous with the firearms industry as a quality, coatings provider. Been around a long time as far as coatings companies go. So their NP3, NP3 Plus is electroless nickel with Teflon. For the upper and lower receiver, I'll be honest, the value there is an aesthetic value more than anything. On the steel parts of our weapons, we do offer a trim or kit package where all the carbon steel parts that would be otherwise manganese phosphated on our rifles have the Robar NP3 protection, coating done. And if you're a saltwater environment patrol guy or a three gunner down at the coast, you're going to have to constantly be oiling those manganese phosphated alloy parts, regular carbon steel parts, all the time in a saltwater environment or coastal region to keep your weapon from rusting. If you're a officer, law enforcement training guy, you might not shoot your weapon for weeks, but you carry it on duty every day on a boat or in the coastal environment. And again, 5 to 10, 15 minutes a day is maintenance. For 150, 175, under $200 upgrade, you get all the parts on your weapon replaced with NP3 coated parts, and you never oil them again to prevent corrosion. Times 5 days a week, 52 weeks a year, that's a considerable savings in manpower and money from a department just from a maintenance standpoint. So money well spent, and it's not a bling or a aesthetic value so much then as a practical protection of your investment as a department in a weapon.
There you go. That sounds like a good upgrade to me. Jen, you had a couple come in?
Yeah, we had one on Facebook that was really good. Hold on, let me see. Robbie Ransdell says, can you please ask him to talk about the Barnes adjustable gas system, specifically how it works and how it compares to an adjustable gas block?
Yes. Did the SHOT Show years ago, met the nice folks at MGI. The owner of MGI gave us permission to use the MGI gas system style in our 3-gun match carbine rifles, as well as our 300 blackout rifles. It is again, their product, the MGI style. It's not a Barnes Precision product. It is basically a valve similar to a carburetor jet screw adjustment that is on the gas tube itself and not in the gas block. Over the years, there have been various manufacturers of adjustable gas blocks that have been successful, not successful, based on corrosion of the adjustment screw in the gas block, stripping the screw out, and a lot of dissatisfied customers. The stainless steel screw in a stainless steel gas nipple on the stainless steel gas tube means there is no corrosion. The only thing that you deal with is the Loctite that you put on the screw to keep it from rotating. You screw it in all the way, your gas system shut off. You screw it out 2.5 turns, and you start to test your weapon until until the bolt carrier locks back on an empty magazine. A half a turn for reliability on your system, and keep your weapon clean. It's an adjustable gas system. You're not running over gassed as you would be with a duty weapon and a wide open gas pipe. So
Right.
can you tune it to the point where your weapon is on the ragged edge? Yes, you can. That's why you have to do testing with any adjustable gas system and maintain the power of ammunition. If you set it for 77 grain MK262 and then you shoot some 55 grain partisan privy or PMC, your gun might not work. If you set it to run with 55 grain and then you have to run some 77 grain, it's going to function, albeit with a little bit more recoil. So
All right.
you've got to make sure you set your weapon up with your weakest ammunition potential when you set an adjustable gas system to the ragged low end.
There you go. Very well said. I have an echo going on my end.
It just started. I don't know why.
Yeah.
You guys sound great here.
Yeah. Let me see. Let me get this Q&A. It stopped. Good. This was from Andrea. Cool T, digging the beard, smart guy. Enjoy watching. Cool, cute kitten too. So there the kitten just pops in. Coincidence, huh?
The work
So
in progress.
there it is, and they're digging the beef and beer T-shirt. So.
Oh yeah, this is a good friend of ours, Mike Dustin, a member of Third Group, was killed in Afghanistan several years ago. Close to the family, really good people. The Dustin Stevens benefit is a really good time and for a really good cause.
Do you have the website to that? We can throw that out there if anybody wants to.
It's the Beef and Beer, Dustin Stevens.
There it is. So go check that out, guys. Definitely show support there. All right, moving on here. I think we're coming down to the end here. We talked a lot of good stuff here. Any new product ideas? I know you announced them earlier. Any events coming up? Any projects coming up? Side charging, side charging AR, SHOT Show. What do you have for events coming up?
We have done some custom side charging uppers for some people. We manufacture our bolt carrier groups in-house, which is a rarity. There's probably less than 5 rifle companies on the planet that actually produce the entire bolt carrier group in-house. So not only do we make them for our rifles, but we make them OEM for other customers. That being said, we have drilled and tapped some of our bolt carriers to accept a screw-in charging handle. We produce the charging handle on our CNC Swiss lathes, and we sell them, but they're a custom item, and we don't see much volume in it. There are several upper receivers on the market with the slots already milled and machined, so most people are just looking for the bolt carrier group with the charging handle on it.
Right.
SHOT Show is coming. Booth 3966 at the SHOT Show will be our 4th year in attendance. As an OEM, we go every year to meet with customers that we supply parts. We do have a pretty decent display of rifles. This year, we're going to have our sales staff, some of our military veteran and competitors. We spent a lot of time and effort recently in a marketing campaign of some posters, and those posters will be on view as we debut that stuff at the SHOT Show this year.
Right on. So go check out the booth if you guys are attending. Me and Jen will be there. Obviously, Andrew will be there. So it's going to be a good time. All right.
Yep. Look forward to seeing you guys.
Yeah, definitely. We're definitely going to swing by the booth and check out your stuff. And I'm going to wrap it up with this one, and then we can do some shout-outs. And I don't know on the reliability of the source. I've seen 2 different websites post this. That doesn't mean it's reliable. But on December 16th, which is today, there was somebody, I don't even write down his name, but he introduced an assault weapons ban of 2015, introducing a bill, assault weapons ban of 2015, to ban all manufacture of assault weapons. That's in quotation, assault weapons. This is exactly the way they said it. Besides banning the manufacturing of AR-15 and related firearms, the ban would put in place new restrictions on the sale of existing assault weapons. What is your thoughts on this? I mean, I obviously think this is going to get shut down pretty fast. I mean, these things have been introduced before, similar versions. You being a rifle manufacturer, there's a lot of stuff going on with politics and the media and some stuff going down. I don't know. It seems like there's going to be another maybe purchasing rifle parts and complete rifles and PMags and ammo might be in the works of coming again. Just what are your thoughts on what you're hearing, what's going on in recently?
Well, basically, what it comes down to is our industry, and I'm proud to be able to say at this point that I'm part of that industry where I can say our industry. Our industry is the oldest, largest industry in the United States that predates the Industrial Revolution. Bigger than automotive. and there won't be any, cabinet ever, Democratic or Republican, that flips that light switch that tells the manufacturers in the firearms industry that we can't do what we do when we send the enormous amount of tax dollars in excise tax, property tax, income tax to the federal government, which they enjoy. So I hate to keep it simple and say the sky is not falling, but I'm not here to sell rifles in a panic. Our product sells itself by the merit of its quality, and the socio-political knee-jerk reactionism that we all see. Okay, we know it exists, but I do think that there should be confidence amongst the industry, especially the manufacturers, to tell people, hey, if the northeastern states can enjoy generations of firearms manufacturing, as an example, the Southeast has barely touched upon the firearms manufacturing that decades of generations in the Northeast have enjoyed and profited from. However, we all know that some of the northeastern states are the very democratic states that could potentially try to sway or control what we do as manufacturers. That statement should be a big eye-opener to people.
There you go, Jen. Any follow up on this, or where are you going with it? Did you read this article? Did you get a chance to read it?
I did not.
It's from a what is it? Democratic representative. Just introducing it. So I don't know. That's been shared around social media today.
I mean, I saw a few things on there about it, and I don't think they'll pass it.
Yeah. No, I mean, it ain't gonna happen. But not the first. Like I said, not the first time you see these things. They'll go after it and try to take it all and stuff like that. But there we have it. I think we can wrap this one up. I think we had a great conversation. I think we got to learn a lot more about Barnes Precision Machine, a lot about Andrew himself, and shout-outs. Let's run them down. Jen, you started off.
All right. My usual Savannah River Armory, Shooters and Sharpshooters of Augusta, Load Up Ammunition, Sampson Manufacturing Operation X, Lucas Oil, all the usuals. But I want to do an extra shout out today to a friend of mine has started a nonprofit organization called Hike to Survive, and they are basically doing it for veterans. He's a veteran. He's an Army sniper, and they are arranging hikes throughout the U.S. To take guys out that are maybe having trouble with whatever, coming back, getting back into civilian life, taking them out, just trying to combat the 22 veteran suicides a day. So it's just a good one. If you want to go on Facebook, they have a page, Hike to Survive, and hit them up if you want to support it or arrange a hike or attend a hike. So anyway, I'm just trying to give them a little press because I think it's a really great thing they're doing.
Right on. They have a website, or is it just Facebook right now?
Right now it's just Facebook. They're still kind of new. He started it and then got something he had to go off and do and had to be out of touch of everything. But he's back now, and they are starting up doing some different hikes in different areas and just really trying to bring awareness to veteran suicides.
Right on. So there we go. Hike to Survive on Facebook. Check them out. Andrew, what do you have? Shout-outs.
I'd like to give a shout out to Hunter Elliott and RangeHot.com. He is hosting me tonight with his high-speed internet access gadgetry. He's done some really good work for us. He's got a fantastic site and a phenomenal following at the SHOT Show for a hairy redneck guy who does some really good ballistic gel testing with projectiles for the industry. I'd also like to give a shout out, if I may, to some of our people that we work with in our industry. East Carolina Metal Treaters in Raleigh, North Carolina, that does all our heat treating. Greystone of Virginia, who does our mil-spec Type 3 hard anodizing to our lowers, our uppers, our handguards. WMD, Win Atterbury in Florida, who does our nickel boron processing to all of our bolt carrier group parts and the nitromet processing to our barrels. J&T Double Star. Jack and Teresa have been good to us for years in part supply, hammers, triggers, your investment cast parts that the whole industry has to buy from somebody. They're big supporters of us, and we are to them as well. So just wanted to say thank you very much to those who support us in the industry. Magpul, Leopold, Dennis Cunningham, see you in Vegas.
Right on. Some good shout outs there. From me, shout out to my end. Thank you guys for all the questions and for tuning in tonight. Thanks to Andrew for coming on, man. I know you had to drive a little bit to get to a good location with the internet, man. So you went out of your way to get on here tonight, and we very much appreciate it, and it was a joy talking to you.
We appreciate you having us.
Right on. You're welcome back anytime, and we will stop by at SHOT Show and maybe have a beer and talk firearms or something. That's always a good time.
You guys have an open invitation to our plant in Apex, North Carolina, right outside of Research Triangle Park. Please stop by, see who we are and what we do with 31 CNC machines and up to 45 employees, 3 shifts a day for the AR-15 industry.
Jen, that's in your neighborhood. You should stop by.
I know. I was trying to think. Where is Apex? What's it close to?
Chapel Hill, Raleigh,
okay.
Perry.
Right on. There's a good range up there where they host the Carolina Cup. Frank's place up in that area.
Out in Oxford, and gotta give a shout out to Damon Woodall at Woody's in New Hill, North Carolina, where Tar Heel 3-gun, all those events are shot.
I've been up there. I went up there for the Freedom Munitions match and for the War Sport.
So my plant's about 6 to 8 miles from Woody's range.
Okay.
There you go. Boom. Done and done, right? We don't have Dustin here. That's Dustin kind of cute. Done and done. But I'm sorry, it's starting to rub off on me. All right.
If you start shooting an XDM instead of a Glock.
No, that XDM stuff's not gonna rub ever off on me.
You sure he's not gonna rub off on you?
No way. He knows better than that. Yeah. I know better than that. That ain't gonna happen. All right, but subscribe to the channel. Below the screen here, you're gonna see a subscribe button. Make sure you click that. You can keep up with all the latest episodes of the Shooter's Mindset, reviews, and matches that I post up on the channel. If you want to email me or get a hold of us, theshootersmindset@gmail.com is a good way to do so. Rise Armament, Dewey Rods, Techwear USA, tactical shit. For they got everything on that website, man. It's not a one-stop shop. I mean, it is a one-stop shop. I mean, they don't have just holsters or something like that. They have it all over there. Let me see, who do I have? Carbon Arms for their, man. Mark's extremely knowledgeable, dude. I can ask that dude anything, and he'll have a rundown, and he tests it himself. He's not one guy that just runs one thing and says it's awesome. He tests everything, comes up with his deal, and he's very knowledgeable. So go check out Carbon Arms. For your caddies, man, they have some great uppers. They have great parts for rifles. They have it all over there, so check them out. Snag Mag, Nate Square Tactical for your concealment holsters if you like to carry inside the waistband. They make a fantastic concealment holster. Terran Tactical Innovations and Patriot cases is what I have today. So if you're traveling, you definitely need a Patriot case.
Yeah, that's what we ship our rifles in.
So there you go. Barnes rifle comes in a Patriot case. It's done and done. Kill 2 birds in 1 stone there. So you get a high quality case with the rifle. What else? And their Patriot cases, I believe, is running a Christmas special right now. So it's a good time to save some cash and get yourself a nice 3-gun kit or a pistol kit from Patriot cases. All right, that'll do it. Episode 114 of the Shooter's Mindset. See you guys next Wednesday at 9 o'clock. Jen, thanks for the help. Andrew, man, it was a pleasure again. Thanks.
Thank you. Great job.
We're out of here, guys.